Welcome back to the Crazy Flute Lady. So I've been buying a bunch of flutes on eBay so I can increase my skill of repairing them. And my goal had just been buying flutes that maybe someone thought doesn't work, but all it needed was a little bit of repair. Keep in mind, I don't have the skill set for pads. You know, the things we learned more of was like stuff you'd find in COAs. But even with that, there's a lot of times something's leaking and someone will deem it not workable when really it is. So anyway, I've just been buying like the cheap flutes. Cheap flutes and then like reselling them. So one of them I bought was a Bundy. Bundys are always cheap. And that's probably the flute I've worked on. Well, not now. I've worked on a couple Armstrongs too. Bundy and Armstrongs are probably the ones I've worked on the most. So I saw one that was a Bundy. It stated it was for parts only, but the pictures it looked like it was okay. Nothing looked too bad. It was $5. What do I got to lose for $5? You know, and even if it was just for parts, you can always just put it up on the flute wall or actually use it for parts, whatever. So let's take a look. This is the case it came in, so it's not the original case it came in. And the case isn't like, you know, you can tell it's been used. And inside the case, we have our flute. And the only thing is that this case is actually for a B foot joint because the foot joint is loose in here. You know, but let's take a look at it. So this kind of reminds me of my first Bundy, just the way the finish is. It's got that like weird coloring to it. And let's see here. There are some things that are off with the flute. I have a key that's just staying down. It's this this key here, the A key. There we go. Is stuck down, which tells me that something might be screwed in too tight. That's my first thought. I could be wrong, but that's my first thought. And the pads look rather smooth. And then on the C key, which is these little ones, this pad here is damaged. It looks like it's been inflated. You see that? It's like oh, thick. It was like it was sitting in water or something and it just absorbed it like a sponge. And then it got all big. That could have been that, I don't know. To be honest, I think this was someone else's project flute. That's what this looks like to me. It looks like someone else's project flute. Let's look at the foot joint. Nothing funky looks weird with it. It looks like a used C foot. And to me, that just means like when you push down the C keys, that these may not go down at the same time or they may not seal. It's kind of just your normal wear and tear there. All right, let's see how it plays. Yeah, not playable. But with that key being stuck down, no surprise, right? So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this flute. I don't have the skills for pads, but I guess I could learn. What do I have to lose? I did work on that other Bundy. You guys saw the first Bundy I worked on, and I made it worse. Yeah, as I'm all still thinking like, why is that worse? I don't know. And eventually I'll figure it out. Eventually. So I'll probably just put this flute up on the stand. I've been putting the, there we go. The flutes that have been not good or, you know, not within my skill set. I've just been placing them here for the shows. Because why not? Might as well use them for decor. Some people have mentioned making a lamp out of them. I might do that too. All right, and then I have one more flute I just bought, if you want to listen to that one in the same video about this flute. Now this flute was stated it was serviced and in good working condition. And I guess I bought this one. It did look like it was just serviced in the pictures. It was nice, shiny, clean. It looked beautiful. And I guess I bought this one just because I had some guy arguing with me online about what you're getting on eBay. So the argument went, someone was asking if they should buy their first flute on eBay. And I was just stating, to be honest, you don't know what you're getting on eBay. Someone can say it's brand new. I've even seen fake stuff on eBay. And I've seen stuff saying that it's been refurbished. I've seen stuff stating that it plays great. And then when you get it, it doesn't. And if you were someone who was just learning, you wouldn't know that. You'd think it was you as the player. So I always recommend avoiding the marketplace, eBay. Avoid any of those when you're buying your very first flute, because you won't know that it's the flute, not you. And coming from someone who started off with a broken flute and had no idea, I almost quit band and I almost quit music over it. It was, thank goodness they had free band instrument repair day or whatever. Or, this is where the guy was like checking over instruments. But thank goodness for that, because I thought it was me, not the flute. So I don't want other people falling into that trap. And, he was like, oh, well, if they state it's good, then it's good. And I'm like, I buy flutes all the time off eBay. I got maybe one flute that was in perfect good condition out of a bunch. All 3 flutes you saw up there earlier, those are all eBayers, okay? And the first Bundy one had mentioned it did work. And if you remember back when we played it, it kind of worked, but it didn't work all the way. So I don't count that as being playable. Then I got that Armstrong one there. That one actually was sent on accident instead of the Bundy, and the guy told me to just keep it. That one's also pretty well trashed, so that was just a freebie. I bought a Combined Heart one that was listed as recently serviced, and it came with torn pads. You know how much a pad job is? On a student flute, forget it. Sometimes you might as well just buy a new student flute. And then there was that Bundy we just looked at, but they claimed that it was, broken, so that's them. I bought a Selmer Aristocrat, and that one wasn't working. I've got that one to work. And then I got another Armstrong that was pretty meh, but also labeled as service. So really, I only had one. This one, let's see what this one's like. It was also listed as recently serviced and good working. It was working, was what they stated. So let's see. I mean, it looks nice and clean, just like it did in the pictures. It's got a few, you just need to be wiped down, that's all. All right, let's see. You guys hear that? It's got a weird rattle in there. Like down this way. It doesn't even feel like the sound's coming from this end. It's like the sound's coming from here and rattling. It's so weird. I've never encountered that. Low notes, no. That is just the strangest thing. Okay, so looking at the pads, some of them are like really flat. So now I'm not an expertise in this, so my information could be wrong on it. But at least when I was looking up pad information and pad jobs when I was trying to work on that first flute, remember they applied the heat, they ironed it out, and then they clamped it down so it had the ring on it, so it's like sealed. Like some of these pads are like flat, as if they put a new pad in and then called it a day. They didn't like put the indentation in it. Maybe that's where the rattling is coming from. And then I have a disintegrated, torn, ripped up pad on one of the trill keys here. I don't know if you can see that. But you guys know how important it is for the trill keys to seal, because that's the first place the air hits. So I don't know if I would consider this, I would not consider this recently serviced. I wouldn't consider it serviced at all. Or maybe it was serviced by someone's project flute. Maybe everybody's doing what I'm doing and I don't know. I took classes on it. And I've run everything by the book. I even bought the book to make sure I keep with it. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if your student flute took this, they could still make the right sounds. Well, not sounds. They could still get the right notes out of it. You just got a funky, weird thing happening down here. Weird vibrations. In my book, not playable. Maybe I can get it fixed up though. So I guess stay tuned and I'll let you know how it turns out after I work on it, or I guess I could make a video on it. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys later.